Hi, it's Victor here from SecPoint with the weekly IT security news show. Today we have a lot of very interesting stories for you. The first one we have is about the cyber heist in America where 9 US financial firms got snared by Russian hackers, and one of them being JP Morgan. In the attack, they lost the data of more than 83 million customers, and that includes private household, small businesses. And of course, if you are affected by this attack, it's very important you contact them, get new information, make sure your accounts were not compromised or you lost money in the attack. Another story we have right here, a little in the same regard, a very large hosting corporation in America, Amazon, could be hit by a security vulnerability and customers could be compromised. So if you are running a hosting facility at the Amazon running the Send systems, it's very important you check your systems, your logs, and see if you are not compromised. Also make sure that you are now on a patched server so you cannot be compromised in the future. Then we have a story about the famous hacking group LoLsec. One of the key people, hacktivist kingpin Hector Xavier Savo, that now turned to be into FBI snitch later on, was in orchestrating attacks in more than 30 countries and also persuaded other hacktivists for doing the hacks. The LoLsec, they did a lot of very popular hacks a couple of years ago, hacking very high profile government side corporations, and they had a lot of media attention as well. Then we have a story from DARPA about the internet will never be hacker-free. And then of course you could say it will never be hacker-free. It's like even a city will never be crime-free. When you have people, you always have some kind of trouble. The argument could be when they are trying to say it will never be hacker-free, they are wanting to have more control, wanting to be able to get access to more data, so they can use the argument that they do it to make everything more secure. And the golden argument is, of course, if you trade in your freedom for security, you will lose both. So always there's an argument about if you don't have anything to hide, why don't you give the government full access to everything? And the key thing is that have been tested out many times and have gone bad every time. And that's why in the Constitution they put in those fail-safes for privacy to make sure when the government goes rapid that you will not be abused as a security measurement. But we see on a daily basis that more and more freedom and rights are being taken away in the name of security. So you can argue if that is a good thing or of course a bad thing. Then we have a story about the popular Apple macOS X that we always say never gets hit by any malware or anything, but the report says there are more than 17,000 infected systems by the Mac.Backdoor.iWorm that got in as a fake Java update. It's now being controlled via Reddit and IRC, getting the commands on what to do. Typically we hear about Windows systems, Linux systems being in the effect of spyware and being kept in a botnet to do attacks. But since more and more people are moving to the OS X platform, they have the very good MacBook laptops, they have servers, workstations. A lot of people are using that platform and then of course also subject to attack. Then we have a story from last week about the popular Shellshock vulnerability in embedded systems and in NAS systems, and now we have the first reports about NAS systems being widely exploited. And the hackers are sneaking in SSH keys to put in the local authorized key so they can get in later on the full SSH without any passwords. Very, very strong argument to patch your systems as well. We also have a report about VMware. They were also hit very hard and they patched a lot of systems. So make sure if you're running some kind of system with a bash system in it that you have it patched and make sure you didn't get compromised. Then we have a story about a US top cop decries encryption, they're against encryption, a little about the DARPA news we just had. They demand backdoors and everything because it will allow criminals to avoid detection. But again, the argument is, if you are removing people's privacy, nobody have any privacy, are the criminals not winning or the terrorists not winning? One of the good things in a free society, of course, is that all the privacy rights that you have. But more and more, they use the argument for security to go in and use that as an argument to get full access to everything, even without a warrant. And you can always discuss if that is a good thing for society or a bad thing. Then we have a story right here about Google taking security more and more serious. Of course, Google is one of the big names being mentioned where in spy cases they scan all the emails, they make patterns on profiles. And what they're doing now with the Google Chrome web browser, they are tripling the bounty fee. So before you could get up to $5,000 per bug, now you can get up to $15,000 per bug. And that of course can lead a lot of hackers to spend their time on secure systems instead of exploiting things. So you could argue that could be a good thing actually. Then we have a story about China infecting protesters in the Hong Kong protest. Recently they are infecting with Trojans on the iOS and Android platform, so they can go in via the local groups and spy on everything and see what the protesters are up to. Again, the government wanting full control in all the different countries. We also have another story here about FBI opens a malware investigator portal for industry agencies to trade malware samples, to be on top of the game, possibly also deploying malwares to get access to systems. We had a few weeks ago the very popular Hollywood picture leaks. You got nude pictures of a lot of Hollywood actresses being leaked on the internet by hackers. And we see an extreme measurement by George Clooney and his WikiLeaks lawyer wife. They are handing out burner phones to all the people visiting for their wedding. And you had to use this phone only on the wedding. And it was also the entrance ticket. So this way they want to make sure nobody takes pictures, movies and leaks out on the internet or sells it to tabloid press. So it seems even for the Hollywood A-list they are taking security very, very highly, and they're doing a lot of measurements for it. Then we have a story about the popular Snapchat got hit by a weight loss spam scam, and what happens is they took over several valid accounts and sending out this spam scam, and people of course will click it when they see it comes from a trusted person. Even they get infected that way. So always be cautious what you're clicking on, even if it is coming from trusted sources like friends or family or employees as well. Then we have a story from the Marriott hotel chain doing an exhibition and forcing everybody to use the hotel Wi-Fi that costs $1,000 per device. And to make sure that people were not using their mobile devices for Wi-Fi access point or small routers that many internet providers were using, they simply were blocking that. And it's not even a conspiracy theory, but a real report. And then what happened is a lot of people complained to the FCC that in the end fined Marriott $600,000 for blocking people's access to the Wi-Fi. Then we have another story here. We're following the CSC hacker case going on in Denmark with some people from Sweden being included in the case, being charged for hacking. There's a lot of discussion if they have actually done it or not. And there are new stories coming out to the puzzle every day. And some of the recent investigations shows that the police actually didn't do the investigation themselves, got the data themselves. They got everything from one of the parties, the CSC. And then of course you can argue if that is real evidence, if that can be trusted, or if it has been tampered with. And now in reference to that, it shows out that one of the very interesting, suspicious IP addresses were not even investigated. So the whole thing gets into being more and more a farce, where it looks like a big corporation had weak security and they try to blame some guy for doing the hacks. And of course it can be discussed if they did it or if they didn't do it, but the fact is that a lot of the information in the hack was already public on the internet. Then we have a case here about the Android OS platform, and you always hear about Android. They have malware, they have virus, they're getting hacked all the time. And very soon Google are rolling out the next Android OS version 5 called L. And we hope in that version they are doing even more to secure people's security. In this attack here, attackers, they made a fake Angry Bird Transformers game. It looks like the real thing with the icons, and you could even play a little in the game. And when people they installed it, they got a very destructive Android Trojan on their smartphone or tablet device. So again, be very, very cautious by installing data on your smart devices. We also had a story last week about even basic apps like a flashlight app, and it just turns on the light, makes your phone light all the time. Even applications like that, they required full access to all your data, contact information, camera, video, camera, microphone, GPS tracking devices. They basically got access to everything for giving you a free flash cam program. And you can argue, how much data you want to give for that ability. So be very, very cautious when you are installing things like that. Then we also have a story here about an irony alert. A former MI6 chief warns about mass snooping by pedophilia people. And of course the irony is that this chief at MI6, that's basically a lot of the things they are doing. And now they are now warning that when you take pictures, or your children take pictures on smart devices, smartphones, smart tablets, every picture has a geolocation tagging on the images that is hidden. You cannot see it when you just watch the image. You have to go into the privacy settings on your phone, device, a tablet, Android or iOS or what you're running, and disable it. But it is enabled by default. And by having this tag, pedophile people, or even governments, or even the MI6, they probably do it themselves, they can track a pattern. So if the children are taking pictures, putting it on Facebook, on Snapchat, WhatsApp or other applications, they can actually see a pattern where the people are moving around. And there have been a lot of controversy recently in the UK and Belgium about professional pedophilia gangs that are kidnapping the children and using it for the elite. And for that matter, having this geolocation, they can see exactly the pattern of the children, where they're going when they want to go and get them. So if you're allowing your children to have a smart device to be connected on the internet, always make sure the geolocation is disabled. They have maximum privacy. They're not installing malware, backdoor programs. And again, you have to decide how much access they allow. What are they allowed to post on the internet? There have been a lot of controversy, also pedophilia, tricking the children to take pictures like on the chat, and getting nude pictures from them. So there can be a lot of security concern in that regards as well. So thank you for watching this weekly IT security roundup. You can please visit SecPoint.tv and subscribe to get the weekly show very easily. And have a very secure week ahead.